All right, this is Noah here with Yeti Gaming YouTube, and today I have...
My name is Mateo Bluemel.
And Mateo, what did you do this weekend?
I went to the St. Peter's Regional and got top 8 with Tenpai.
Alrighty, let's get into this deck profile, shall we?
Yes, sir. So like I said, it's Tenpai, so I won't spend too much time on the engine since it's kind of been solved at this point. We have 3 Pydra, 3 Chundra, 2 Fadra, 3 Kaiman, 3 Sangan Summoning, and then our 4th Sangan Summoning with Terraforming. Basically, I mean, this has kind of been the de facto solved ratios for the Tenpai core so far, at least until, you know, the new support comes out. And, you know, other than Fadra, they're all pretty much starters. You can start with any of these cards and end up OTKing through that.
Did you think about bumping up to the 3rd Fadra?
No, I didn't really think so. I think 2 is perfect. As a matter of fact, I've seen people even do 1, which I think is a little bold, because if it gets banished or anything like that, then you're just kind of lose that effect forever. But I think 2 is perfect because 3 is, you don't want to really see it in your hand because it doesn't do anything by itself compared to literally the rest of the other 4 cards. So I think it's great paired with other cards, obviously, but by itself, it doesn't do anything. And so for extra consistency, obviously too, we have some Pot of Prosperity because it is unbelievable that it OTKs through Pot of Prosperity.
Did people ask you to show them the Trident Dragon before they would concede?
No. They made sure they waited for me to bust it out. As for the board breakers and the hand traps of that sort, for board breakers, we played 3 Forbidden, 1 Harpy, and 2 Lightning. Unfortunately, we're still in a hand trap format. I prefer board breakers personally, but it's very much still a format where you can't let your opponent play turn 1. And so I think these are the only good board breakers right now that effectively, you know, clean up any loose ends that you hand trap them with. If they only set up like a half board after you hand trap them, this cleans up the rest of it. And I've seen, as a matter of fact, too, I've also seen Fenrir's in these builds as well, and that's also a good tech choice in my opinion. And so I just think Droplet is more impactful in this format right now. As for the hand traps, we play 3 Ash, 3 Ogre, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm. These are pretty standard, but the spicy tech choice, in my opinion, that I do for the deck is Cyframe package.
Ooh,
with
okay.
So we do 2 Delta and 1 Gamma. Obviously, you never want to see the brick, right? You always draw the 1 of. But I was thinking about, again, hand trap format, I want to get the most benefit out of my hand traps as I can, because especially with Snake Eyes, I've literally have used like Valor, Imperm, Ash them, and they still end up somehow on a full board. If they just draw all engine and all extenders. And so I was thinking of like how to really just get the most out of my hand traps, similar to like Nibiru paired with hand traps. And these cards came to mind considering that Tenpai always wants to go second. So these cards are always live for you going second. And especially Delta is a card that I think gets slept on a lot because there are a lot of important spells in this format that end up you know, if they resolve, they can completely, you know, block you out of playing the game with Tenpai. And so if you have this with like an Ash, like it can just end a game, you know, end a turn for them and turn skip them.
Did the Delta come up a lot for you?
A few times, yes, because like if you, it's like I said, like you can save your Ash for something else like a monster and use your Delta for like their OSS, or if they're playing voiceless, you use it on their barrier, you know, or something like that when they try to activate it. And it just was really impactful in terms of like not only negating cards but also destroying the spell. Like if it's a continuous spell, like for instance, I didn't go against Yubel, but I was expecting Yubel since it's a bad matchup against Tenpai, or good, it has a good matchup against Tenpai rather. And I was wanting to get rid of their Nightmare Pain with Ogre and then also Sightframe Gear Delta. At the end of the day, though, it's just an excuse to play Gamma.
How many times did you resolve Gamma?
I won round 1 in game 3 because of Gamma. It was actually against Chris Rice. Shout out to Chris Rice. He's a fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh player who got 3rd place actually at the regional. and his only loss was to me, and it was because I was just better. Deck the freaking Gamma, baby. And like literally, this card alone can just sometimes solo a whole hand on, and so yeah. And then obviously even the driver, even though it is a brick, you can still use it for droplets, still use it for Sangan summoning for your discard. It's not a completely dead card. And so that caps the main deck at 40 cards. Onto the extra deck. For our Dragon monsters, we play 2 Bidents, 1 Transcendent Dragon, and then the Trident Dragon. If you want to OTK through everything, especially through Prosperity and even Shifter sometimes, you need the Trident in the deck. It just makes it so much easier to do so many things in your OTK combos. And for the Synchro Tech cards, we played Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon, which is great in the mirror match if you quick synchro during their battle phase into Meteor Burst before they can actually get off most of their effects. You skip their turn and now you get to OTK them. Samurai Destroyer for the Yubel matchup that never came up, but also for other just cards in general that have the effect that can't be destroyed by battle. Samurai Destroyer takes care of them. We have the Black Rose monsters, Black Rose Dragon, Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, and Ruddy Rose Dragon. Obviously, these two are pretty good. Like, Black Rose needs no explanation. It just clears boards, especially under the summoning field effect. Like, having an unaffected nuke is insane. And then this is also just target, bounce for cards for big towers, like Nib tokens and stuff like that as well. And then Ruddy Rose is good if you can't OTK for some reason. You can't OTK your opponent, you can clear out their graveyard at least. And that is very crippling to a lot of decks. For going first, I like to play Ancient Fairy Dragon, Zolkin, and Crystal Wing. There's lines that you can get into a Crystal Wing Dragon and seals to pass if you draw enough engine. And so that way they're not just dead cards in your hand. And then for the links, we play Doolittle Chimera as kind of our answer to Dimensional Barrier. People play the Link OTK package, but I like to have the extra synchro space for more utility plays with my synchros. So I didn't want to waste a lot of slots with the OTK package, but I still want to have some sort of answers. That way I can at least, like, if all they had was a D barrier, I could still OTK. Obviously, Seals Pass is still the best.
It's the FTK.
It's the FTK. Seals Pass is still great. Hieratic Seals is definitely a must in the deck. And then we do play 1 Typhon. Again, if for some reason you can't OTK, you can kind of pop this bad boy up and, bounce off the last monster that they need. And so that is our extra deck. And
no Little Knight?
No Little Knight. Honestly, I was thinking about buying a Little Knight, and stop being broke to get a Little Knight. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, I didn't like the effect. Like, here's the deal. If you have to go into Little Knight and you're typically using her Banish effect on summon, using some sort of Striker Dragon or whatever, right? And then you can't attack, though, directly for the rest of the turn. So you don't get to OTK. You don't get to do your strategy, which is, like, kind of redundant. It's kind of counterintuitive of what the deck is supposed to do. And so I just didn't think it was A, worth the money, but also B, worth the space to sacrifice for a Little Knight.
So what you're saying is you have a more budget-friendly version of Tenpai.
A little bit, yes, sir. For only $200, because the Dryden is still $100, but it's okay. It's okay. Just ask a friend. For our side deck, we have 3 Shifter, because again, not only can it OTK through Prosperity, it also can OTK through Shifter. So whatever, sure, that's a completely fair thing that I can do. We play Valor for extra negation against Snake Eyes and other combo decks. We play the 1 Magna Hunt and 2 Druis Worm for graveyard hate, if they like to go in their graveyard and special summon from their graveyard a lot of dark and light monsters. The beautifully simple card of Heatwave that, no.
It doesn't really need an explanation.
It doesn't need an explanation. You just skip turn and you get to do your thing. So, funny enough, I actually, quick story, had this for Cyber Dragon. So I didn't end up having to buy it when it spiked up to like $16 to $20. And so that was super clutch. My brother suggested it back when I was playing Sidra. And so our last 3 are Cyclones, great against like Runic Stuns or any other back row decks of that sort. And so yeah, that makes up our Tenpai deck list. So just a quick couple shout outs. Shout out to Yeti Gaming for fostering a fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh community and card community in general. Make sure to check out the rest of their videos on their channel and to check out their stuff. Also, shout out to my fiance, Angelina Parolo, love of my life, who supports me through all this stuff. I even got her into Yu-Gi-Oh, so she's my little dueling testing partner, and I just love her for that. So much. Thank you, Angelina.
Alrighty, man. Thank you so much for giving us your time, and good luck with any future endeavors. This has been Yeti Gaming. Make sure to check us out, Yetigaminglive on YouTube.com. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, any kind of social media. Just search us up, and our website, Yetigaming.com. Alrighty, guys. Take it easy.